Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Susanna Kennedy and I am your host today, and we'll be providing you with an overview of how to get started with WiseTime. Now this webinar will be about 30 minutes long. Of course, for those of you who need additional training, feel free to send me an email so we can set up a time to discuss further. I'm just going to give everyone some additional time here to log into this webinar. As mentioned in the email and social media, this webinar is perfect for anyone who is just getting started with WiseTime and would like to understand how AI-powered technology and timekeeping can help account for every minute without wasting any on recording them. But also, of course, if you just want a refresher and have been using WiseTime for a while, I'm sure that you will learn some new things here as well. So before we get started, I just wanted to share a bit about me and WiseTime. I am the business development manager here at WiseTime and have been with this company for about 4 years now. Our team is spread all around the world, and we have offices both in Germany, England, Australia, and the US. I'm based here in New York. Now, WiseTime was designed by 2 patent attorneys who used the traditional start and stop timer in their practice. And so for them, this manual process was tedious, as I'm sure that you can relate. And so WiseTime was really developed for attorneys to help them stay focused and allow them to spend more time on their clients instead of admin tasks. So today we have a lot to cover. We will talk about the benefits of passive timekeeping, a brief overview of how WiseTime works. We'll go through your privacy controls and best practices for organizing your timeline. And then I'll show you how to post time to a few connected systems. Tips that can help increase your billable time is also something that we will cover at the end of this session. So let's jump right into it. But of course, before we dive into passive timekeeping, I thought I should talk a bit about the challenges that many face when tracking time using, notepads, dictaphones, post-it notes, and spreadsheets. So these all rely on you to actively keep track of your time. And often results in kind of like a catch-22 in a way. And the reason for this is because you are, either spending a lot of time on timekeeping, which means that your records are probably really good, but you are wasting precious billable hours, or you may not be paying attention or enough attention to timekeeping, and therefore may not be billing as accurately as you would like to. So this is really where passive timekeeping comes in and help to solve these challenges. So once it's set up, there is no need to take any actions for the time to be captured. It takes away basically all that guesswork and allows you to accurately understand where your time has gone without thinking about the process of timekeeping itself. So our WiseTime users have provided us with some results after using WiseTime. And we've heard that users are spending less than 40% of the time they used to put into their timekeeping. And this, of course, this time is now spent on more productive work. Also, users have reported an average of 2 to 4 hours of additional billable time per week when compared to traditional timekeeping solutions. Now, these numbers are very conservative, but it means that with a few minutes of additional time per week, the system basically has already paid for its own price. So to get started, you basically sign up via our website, unless that if you have already done so, of course. You can then download the WiseTime applications onto any computer that you work on. So it can be installed both on your home and work computer. And once installed and running, the app captures your activity while you work uninterrupted. So WiseTime can tell you which window that you are actively working in and automatically start and stop those timers for you. So this makes really multitasking much easier when billing by the hour. And WiseTime also will, of course, only capture the title of the active window. We never look into the content of it. Also, all of this activity captured is completely private to you. So WiseTime really consists of two parts. It's the application that you download on your computer and the online console that you can access via a browser to see your timeline. And here, of course, you can also track your progress and post your time to your connected system. So as the data flows through these different parts from the WiseTime app that captures your information to the console, to the WiseTime connector, and into your billing or practice management system, WiseTime encrypts all data with industry standard encryption. So as a WiseTime user, you are in complete control of what data is shared and what remains in your private timeline. In addition, we have added a few more privacy controls within the preference section that you can, for example, add exclusions so that WiseTime will never record your time while you're in specific applications or windows. And these can be also good to set up to reduce the noise or activity from your timeline that you cannot bill your clients for. You can also adjust the data retention time, which you can see here, and this can be done both at the user level and the team level. If you are interested in learning more about data security, then I recommend checking out our webinar covering privacy and security. It's on demand on our website. But for now, so let's move over to some other tips that can help organizing your timeline. So the WiseTime app basically will always run in the background. But of course, if you ever wanted to pause it, you can head over to the icon here and click just the pause button. And you can choose here from 30 minutes till tomorrow and so forth. So it's very easy to just put it on pause if you don't want to record specific activities. Also, if you are away from your computer, let's say, you're in a phone meeting, or, if you're out for lunch with a client, WiseTime keeps track of the idle time and then reminds you to record it when you return. So this information will be available to you in the app notification center, as you can see here. And if you log it like this, it will show up in your timeline. In the general section here, which I'll show you under preferences, You can set your inactivity notification preferences to a duration that suits your work style. So you can select, I believe, between 2 and 10 minutes here. If you are interrupted frequently from the computer, you may choose to have a shorter duration of inactivity. And if your computer activity is more static, you know, let's say you tend to spend longer time reading documents and so forth, then you might want to increase the inactivity period to avoid all these like notifications popping up on your screen all the time. So regardless of what plan that you have, you will be able to access the timeline and see where your attention has been. So there's no need to integrate this platform with other applications on your computer in order for it to track time. It will basically just track any active window. All the time that WiseTime captures then flows into this private timeline and can be accessed via any browser. So WiseTime already has algorithms set into place to reduce the noise. So for each time row, you will see the title of the active window and the duration spent on this window during the hour, meaning that if you are going back and forth in between different documents, it will list the total time spent in that window during that 1 hour. And again, it's just to help organize your timeline here to make it easy and user friendly. Something also worth mentioning, activities where you're spending less than a minute. So for example, if you're looking for a specific document in a folder or something like that, these type of activities will be left out. And again, this is to reduce the noise and then focus on activities that you can actually bill your clients for. So in this private timeline, this is basically where you will review your activity. You can flick through days and weeks and filter and sort your activities. You can search across all your time entries, add manual time as I showed earlier, and also delete entries. So WiseTime can be used as a standalone system, but it was really designed to be connected. So by connecting it to your existing billing or practice management system, it allows the activity to flow from WiseTime seamlessly into your system and to be captured against the right client or case. So today I will show you some examples on how to post time into some of these connected systems, and also give you a few tips on what you should kind of look after before you connect. So if you have already, or if you haven't already set up your connector during the sign-up process, which is a fairly easy thing to do, then this can also be done within the settings section in the WiseTime console. Only one user will need to do this within the team in order for it to work for everyone. So first you should you know, make sure that you are set up on the right plan. I believe if connecting to a cloud platform like Clio or QuickBooks and Practice Panther, then professional or higher plan is required. And then basically from here, you can slide down, and I'll show you that in a minute by hitting settings here. In this case, I have actually already connected to QuickBooks, but the setup process here is pretty straightforward. You basically select the system that you would like to connect to, add a name to it, and then you click connect. And then you can see that the green dot here next to the name basically indicate that the connector is up and running. Another thing that you want to do is to ensure that the email for each user is the same in both systems, and that the user has a default billable rate. So I can show you here how this is set up in QuickBooks. If you head over to the payroll, click on the employee and check the email billable rate, and then make sure that the billable by default is ticked off. So in this case, I had actually a different email. So what I'm doing here is just changing the external ID to match with the one in QuickBooks. And after that, you should be all set and ready to go. I'm ready to post time to QuickBooks. Before we post time, though, I just want to talk a little bit about tags. So tags within WiseTime corresponds to your case matter ideas or customer names, depending on what system that you're connected to. And if you have connected WiseTime to your practice management or billing system, then these will all sync straight through. And I'll show you here as an example using QuickBooks. All of these customers will be listed under tags, and you can see them automatically have been synced through. And the same, of course, goes for when you're connected via Clio or Practice Panther and so forth as well. Also within each tag are keywords, and for tag to be applied automatically, as you can see here on the side, there are Amy Bird Sanctuary. This blue tag here is automatically applied. So for this to be applied, it has to be a match in the title of either the email or the window, the active window. And you can see here that it has that keyword in the emails listed. If there is no keyword match in the title of your active window, then the latest features that we have is assisted tagging. So this might come in hand as well. Basically, WiseTime uses AI to suggest relevant tags for users' time entry. And then over time, this algorithm becomes smarter and will start to suggest tags automatically that reflect the work being carried out. So the more that you use WiseTime, basically the smarter it gets, and you will end up spending less time organizing your day's work. Now, something else I also wanted to talk about is the activity types. And these are usually set up to correspond with the billing codes in your connected system. These, of course, are also automatically synced when you connect WiseTime to your connected system. So in QuickBooks, these will be the services listed. And I'll show you where you can find that within QuickBooks just to show you how this works. So if I head over to services, then all the names and sales price of the selected services will be transferred over to WiseTime and used as the hourly rate when you post time to QuickBooks. So in practice management systems such as Clio, this will be the activity categories. And you can see here just in settings, you can set, activity types to default. You can choose which of these activity types you want to make available for the users on your team to when posting time back to the connected system. So there's several different kind of things that you can do here. I'm going to show you also how to, where you can see this activity types in Clio. So that will be the activity categories. So if you do have multiple activity categories, I would suggest heading over just to the settings so you can have a look and decide which type of activity category should be available for all the users on your team. Something else that you can do with the activity categories is to add non-billable rates as well. And I can show you that in a minute. But before we do that, let's get to the fun part and get this data posted into a connected system. So we'll go ahead and just show how to do this in QuickBooks. So here I am just selecting a couple of activity rows, and I click this tag icon and connect it to a specific client. So from here, I can create a group and basically send all that time as a bundle. You can select your activity type there, add your description, change the total amount of time if you wanted to, round up and so forth, if you are billing in increments. And then once that is done, you simply just click post, and then it will be listed in the connected system. And then, of course, just ready to be built and invoiced. So here we have the service, the description, the rate, and the total amount. I'm going to show the same thing when posting time to Clio, and I'll do this posting both billable and non-billable time. So here, just moving activities into a specific group. In this case, it was the group was called Blue. And then adding a description. So every time you write these descriptions, they will be automatically saved in our system, and you can just reuse the same ones that you have done before. The green dots here also indicates that it has been successfully transferred over to the connected system, kind of like what you see when you write a WhatsApp text message. So here you can see that it has been sent over successfully. Now, if you want to also send non-billable time, there's just one additional step that you should take a little look at here. Under the settings, you basically just copy and paste the activity type and add it into this non-billable activity type section here. Once that is done, it will take a couple of minutes in order for it to kind of kick in and work. But then you can, when you select the activity that you want to send as non-billable, these will, of course, not appear on your client's invoice, but they will appear in Clio. So you will have a lot of data there to look at of time that you have spent on non-billable matter as well as billable. Now I also click the include the details as well, and you will see what that kind of looks like once it's in the Clio system. So when you include the details, you also include the title of the active window and so forth. So you will basically end up with a lot more details here, but as you can see, it's also being posted as non-billable and has ended up in the non-billable section. So the analytics section may also be a place you want to take a closer look at. One of our users reported that they reduced their daily time spent on emails by about 80%. So I'm confident that you will probably find some interesting things here. Now you can jump into the summary section, which is completely private to the user, or you can head over to the analytics section, which is more analytics for the entire team, which owners will have access to. Now, this is only data that has, of course, been posted. That will be listed in the analytics section. So you can also create reports here. You can head over to create, for example, a PDF report and restrict it by a team tag or activity type. And once you generate this, I'll just show you what that kind of like looks like. Now the next slide will be my last. So if you have any questions, please feel free to go ahead and type these into the Q&A section so I can answer them afterwards. So the last thing I will cover today is basically the top tips, I would say, to increase your billable hours with WiseTime. Number one is to always leave WiseTime running. So we built in the privacy controls and exclusion preferences to allow you to use your computer as normal, both for work-related and private tasks. And never worry about, restarting WiseTime. So this way you can simply forget about timekeeping for a while and know that it's keeping track of your time at all times. Second tip is to make use of groups throughout the day. So groups are by far the quickest and most efficient way to tag time throughout the day. And you can set up groups for multiple tasks with the narrative, tag, and activity code required, and then simply add to them as you work throughout the day. Number three is set your manual time preferences. So the manual time prompt is a great way to remember to capture offline time. So make sure that you go to your app settings and set the time frame for when to prompt, whatever suits your work habits. Number four is to post non-billable or business development time. So WiseTime can be used as a tool to capture the non-billable time for cases, as well as non-billable time that you spend on activities like marketing, admin, or business development. And so it can be a great insight into where you might want to improve efficiencies, and also a great way to easily capture time on non-chargeable tasks. And the last one is to post daily, because it only takes a few minutes. And so you will find that when you post time at the end of the day, or even throughout the day, you can do it a lot quicker while the context is still fresh in your mind. Of course, the time will always be there, ready for you to kind of post the next day or the next week if you ever forget. So this was it for me so far. If anyone has any questions, I'll try to answer them now. So let me see. I see that a few ones have come in here. So let me just spend some time reading over them. So I see that somebody has some issues connecting WiseTime to Clio. Of course, this is something I'm absolutely able to help with. We can maybe set up a separate call discussing that. And I'll make sure that you are up and running today. And the other question that I can see popping in here was about WiseTime displaying multiple tags. I believe maybe you're talking about the AI coming in here. There is a way to untick that, and I will contact you, Rick, individually to set up a training and show you how to do that. You unfortunately are not. I don't think there is another question about how you can edit the saved description. You can delete a saved description, and then basically, I guess you would copy and paste it before you delete it, and then once you post and edit it from there, it will be saved. Hope that makes sense, Curtis. All right, I think these were the questions that kind of came in today. Please feel free to contact me directly if I can be of any other help. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks again for joining us on this webinar today. Take care.